Swamiji, we're live. We can start. Swamiji, we can start.
Yes, we can start, but I think you can give an introduction. Huh?
Yes, yes. 1 second. Yeah, namaste all. So this is a part of a series of talks that we have arranged. So today on Saturdays, we will have the talk in English. So Swamiji will be available to interact with all of us and answer questions. Answer your questions in this time where everybody's facing a lot of issues, and how basically in a dharmic way we can approach the dire situation that we are facing. So Swami Chidananda Puri from Advaita Ashram. Swamiji.
Hearing well? Are you hearing me?
Yes. Yes.
So this is not a lecture session. Actually, this session we can use as an interactive session. The situation through which we are passing through, all of us are aware of. And of course, there is no doubt we will transcend this. There is no doubt in that. But for the time being, this is a grim situation. The whole world is passing through very painful state, especially in the condition in America. Everybody are aware of. But at this time, we have to work hard to increase our own mental power, and we must be able to face this situation in most practical and realistic way. And actually, our Hindu way of thought, it teaches us how to make all crises as opportunities to grow, opportunities to come above. That practical philosophy, which all our Shastras are teaching, we have to imbibe. And through constant practice, like japa, and of course, yogasanas and pranayama, we have to make ourselves fit. And not only that, along with that, we have to give courage and solace to those who are in distress. That is the urgent need of the time. This we can do, we will do. There is no doubt that this situation is only for the time being, and we will come above this. There is no doubt in that. Have that optimistic vision, and we must get ourselves ready to do our duties to ourselves and to our family and to the society. Especially one aspect I have observed in the world, the present day world, all are saying we are very much busy, always busy. No time even to talk with the family members. No time to be with the wife or husband. Everybody is running with that much busy schedule. So make this an opportunity to be with the family and make this a positive opportunity that we have got to make our own family bonds more and more stronger. That positive approach we must have at this situation. Yes, as I told earlier, this is not an occasion to deliver one way speak. Instead, we can make an interactive session, and there is no any formalities. Without any formalities, we can talk, we can exchange ideas, and the goal or aim of this meeting is only one: make ourselves more and more powerful and deliver our duties towards the society. That is the aim, or that is the goal we have to keep in mind. So people from many places are here.
Swamiji, let me ask a question.
Yeah.
So you earlier mentioned that this pandemic time as an opportunity in our lives, and you immediately connected that into a family perception. Like, what do you think, or in your opinion, how we people, like we are the people with living our lives with wives, kids, and sometimes with parents, what are the ways we can make this time so meaningful, as in a, especially we 4 or 5 people staying on 24 hours within one roof, especially in these times, how we can make ourselves these times are more meaningful? Any particular ways or any particular suggestions or particular tools, tips?
See, 3, 4, or 5 people locked in a house. That is the present situation. When we are saying this is a lockdown state, that that gives a sort of negative implication. Lockdown. Somebody has locked us. No, we are accepting this as a vrata. This is a vrata. This is a vow. I have taken this, and this is to, in two ways, make me more and more stronger. One, regarding family bonds. Second, individually. Individually, we can do japa, we can do more and more sadhanas in the yoga sadhanas or pranayamas like that. And we can do swadhyaya. All through this, we can make ourselves more and more powerful. Powerful to meet or face any situation in this life practically. And from the family point of view, see the greatness of Bharat, or in other words, when all other primitive cultures which were well flourished all over the world, they disappeared from the face of the earth. Our culture, our samskara, it remained. Not only it remained, but it flourished. How? Only because of our family. Only because of the greatness of our family. That is the only reason how this samskara withstood all attacks. We everybody know how fastly Greek culture was wiped off. Within 3 or 4 months, Egyptian culture was wiped off. Babylonian culture was wiped off. Almost all cultures which were flourished and which were giving light to the whole world were wiped off. But our culture is remaining, not only it is remaining, but it is flourishing. How? Only because of our family concept, made on such a foundation as Madra Devo Bhava, Pitra Devo Bhava, and through natural exchange of uh, our values, our family setup remained, and it helped to preserve our samskara. So many duties are there which we were not at all doing for years. Why can't we revive? Why can't we recognize? Yes, we can, or we will. Daily we can do Pancha Mahayajna. Pancha Mahayajna, daily we can do, wherever you are living. There must be a mind to do. Then we can do. Doing tapas is not going to some forest, wearing some ochre cloth, taking some Rudraksha beads with a matted hair. No. Everybody can do tapas in one's own house. So we can bring back those values, those anushtanas. This is an opportunity for that. Because we have to make a new culture and a new vision. Why I am saying so? You see, like the aftermath of world wars, many countries were thinking they were finished, but they all came up more vigorous, more powerful than before. In the same way, we will come above, we will come up, there is no doubt, but we must equip ourselves. For example, a, a, a sort of consumerism. Actually, we were slaves in the hands of blind consumerism. There is no doubt in that. So we must think, we must rethink how I was a slave to this and what change I can make. You don't get angry with me, but you do one thing. Everybody is sitting in your own houses. I'm just asking to go into all the rooms in your house and take stock of materials in your house and take a paper and a pen. What material is essential? Tick essential. What material is not essential but still useful? Tick that. And if such a stock you are taking, you will find more than 40-50% of materials we have purchased as useless. You just do that. You just do that. Why? Because we were slaves of consumerism. So many organizations with their advertisement campaigns made us so. So we have to come back to the concept of dharma, artha, and kama. We must have wealth. We must have money. but it must be through a way of dharma. We must have karma. Nobody is asking you to go to sannyasa. We must have karma. But our karma must be limited to our resources. And that resources must be made through dharmic ways. These dharmartha karma sankalpa, which our rishis gave, we forgot. So we were slaves to consumerism. A change we can make. So many aspects are there. So all these must be taken into account, and we must come up with a changed, or with a revolution, or evolved mind and intellect. This is an opportunity to make ourselves so. That is my opinion. What's your idea and what is your opinion? We can freely exchange. Because as I said earlier, there is no any formality in this meeting. We are one. Rajiji, you were asking that, no? Rajiv Bhaskar asked that question, no?
Swamiji.
Right. Yeah, right, Swamiji.
Yes.
Smitaji, you can go ahead and ask the question.
Okay, thank you, Madhiji. Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste.
Namaste. So my question is mostly sadhana specific. So I'm taking this lockdown as to my advantage to increase my sadhana practices, as Swamiji has mentioned. So I know living alone gives me an advantage to do that. So my question is basically, I am personally having a hard time accepting what is said in the Bhagavad Gita, where the Lord says not to expect the fruit of our actions, because I am personally a goal-oriented person. Like I like to see my results on the work I do. So especially in sadhana, or if I do a vrata or a prayer. So for example, let's say I'm doing a Shiva vrata, maybe for a prosperous life or like a joyous married life, if I don't see the results, then I get frustrated and I stop doing it. And then I think, why should I even do it in the first place? So I don't want that development anymore. My question is, how do I develop wanting to do my sadhana for the sake of doing sadhana and not get frustrated to focus on that results? So that's my question. Thank you, Swami.
Namaste. Sadhana, whatever sadhana you are doing, through sadhanas we are actually trying to make that focus. All the time we are not getting that. Why? So many samskaras are there within. So we must not get frustrated. We must not get frustrated. We must realize the fact that so many samskaras are within me. As we are inclined to do sadhana from within, there are so many good samskaras which are propelling me to do that. But at the same time, as we are human beings, we came here with a bundle of samskaras. So they also will work. So what our duty is, or what we can do is, do our part to make use of this time. As you said, I am very happy that you are making use of this time, and make use of the time doing sadhanas. Don't be frustrated. See, our mind, it has 5 states. The first state is kshipta, second state is mudha, and third state is vikshipta. Then we can later speak about the fourth and fifth. See, kshipta is like a water reservoir or tank. The waves in the water are that much. We cannot see the bottom of that tank. Not only that, we cannot even recognize how muddy that water is. Because to recognize even the water is muddy, it must be some calmness must be there. in that surface. It is not there. So that is kshipta type of mind. So in that mental state, no sadhana can be done. Then the second is mudha. Mudha is muddy, of course muddy, but the movement has come down. Movement of that water surface has come down, but still you cannot see the bottom because water is muddy. And the third stage is vikshipta. Generally, majority of sadhakas will be in the vikshipta state. That is in the third state. That is, mind will be calm and cool and clear. We will see the bottom of the tank. Water is that much calm. In the same way, our mind is calm, clear. And in that time, when the mind is calm and clear, we can do japa, we can do puja, we can chant mantras, we can do yogasanas, we can study shastras, all sorts of spirit sadhanas we can do. But after some time, it will again with the ripples and waves. Again, it will become muddy. No peace of mind, no calmness. It is vacillating. It is going here and there. And we will think, gone, everything gone. I cannot control. I will not be able to control. But again, a time will come that mind is again became calm and cool and clean. This type of mind we are calling vikshipta. So when our vikshipta mind is there, we can do our sadhanas when it is calm. And our sadhana samskara, what it will do, it will lengthen that span of calmness. I think you are following.
I'm following. Yes.
Yes.
Thank you.
So slowly, we can make the mind that much calm, and the mind will become calm and cool, and the time with the ripples and waves will come down and down. And we will reach the fourth state, which is ekagra, one-pointed, focused mind. When we have reached that state, then there is no fear of falling down. But still, that state is there only because of the sadhana we are doing. If we stop sadhana, the mind will come down. So we must not stop in that state. We must go forward. Then we will reach the fifth state, which is niruddha. Niruddha is the final state of samadhi. If we reach that, there is no falling, there is no going up, because we are established in the self. So all sadhakas, majority of sadhakas will be in the third state, and so don't be frustrated.
I'm only frustrated if I don't see the goal I'm achieving.
No, goal, you are going through the right path. If you are moving in a ship, and ship is in the middle of the ocean, you are not seeing the shore, but still ship is going. Why? Because the captain knows the route. You need not do that.
Okay, I understand now. Thank you.
Do your sadhana as well. Don't evaluate. Don't see.
Logic.
if we are planting a plant, and daily you are plucking it up, seeing how far is the root, how far is this growing. What will happen? Don't do that. Don't do that. Do your sadhana as well. The rest will come as its own. As Bhagavan says, do your action. The fruit will come as its own.
Okay.
We have right only on our action, not on our results. Results will come. There is no doubt in that. So
okay. Thank you.
There is no doubt.
I'll continue. Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you, Swamiji. Namaste.
Namaste.
There is a question from RP. Pranam Swamiji. This is
Namaste.
what our kids are exposed to on a day-to-day basis on TV. How can we change that easily without them feeling like Hinduism is a dogmatic religion?
Who is saying Hinduism is a dogmatic? Those who are saying they do not know anything about Hinduism. So, if they are repeating in TVs and such media that Hinduism is that much dogmatic, the only conclusion is that they do not know anything about Hinduism. They have not read anything. No Shastras they know. And specifically, if we can point out something, we can answer in that or for that. Are you hearing?
Yes, Swamiji, yes.
Yep. Can I ask my question?
Yes, Hari, you.
Namaskaram, Swamiji.
Namaskar.
Thank you for taking the time to spend with us. And as you mentioned, totally agree with you that this is we have to use this time for reflection, for our sadhana, and take this as an opportunity. Definitely, that's a great advice, and I think it's very convincing to look at that. This situation has kind of exposed us to saying the futility of our trying to control things which are actually not in our control, and which, in fact, genuinely all of us feel that frustration. We thought a lot of things were in our control, which are no longer in our control. But coming to the overall scenario, though, one thing is that this epidemic which is going on, it doesn't seem to make any distinction between somebody who is a good person versus a bad person, or somebody who's done good in life versus somebody who's done bad things in life. It's in fact, it seems to be taking the life of people who are dedicating themselves to serve others, to help others. How does this reflect back into our thought process of establishing oneself in Dharma? Because I see the danger of people looking at it saying, what is the point of me having living a dharmic life? If a tragedy comes to strike and it is not going to make a distinction between the life that a dharmic person has led versus an adharmic person has left. If it spares an adharmic person and takes the life of a dharmic person. How do we explain that?
Yes, this is a very practical question. Very practical question, and such a question is coming from many people. It's very practical also. But when we ask that, what is the difference practically between a dharmic and non-dharmic? That is not only limited with situations like this epidemic only. Because in the common life also, in a scenario where there is no epidemic, there is no pandemic, in the normal life itself, we are seeing many a time those dharmic people, those persons who have done so much dharmic activities, they are suffering. Many a time we are seeing that. And those who are doing many atrocities in this world, they are happily leading their life. Such a situation we are seeing every now and then, not in the case of this epidemic alone. That we have to explain with the help of karma siddhanta. That I am not speaking about this epidemic condition. To that I will come later. First, we have to have a clear idea regarding this aspect. Because the dharmic or the non-dharmic, we are seeing a short span of life. Whereas We came with a bundle of samskaras in this life. And we are living in this life, in this world, with that samskara which we have taken from our earlier lives, our previous lives, that we are not at all seeing. And a man who is doing virtues, who is doing dharmic things in his life, that satisfaction will be there within. He is doing all good not for getting something in return. If he is doing for getting something in return, then that is not a virtue in the dharmic sense. We call somebody doing virtue in the dharmic sense when he is doing without any expectation, because it is as a duty he is doing. As a duty he is doing. And through that, two effects are there. One is he is diluting his own past bad karmas. He is diluting his own past bad karmas. Just like a child, when the child's mother gives some medicines, the child is resisting. I don't want, because of the taste of that medicine. It is sour, that much. Whatever pressure the mother applies, child is not at all yielding. Then what the mother does, she mixes that medicine in 10 milliliters of honey with a little more sugar and water, and give the same thing to that child. Child takes it and easily drinks that. The quantity of that sour material, it is not lessened. It is same there. But because of the virtuous act, because of the sweetness, he can drink it easily. In the same way, we can diminish the effect of past bad karmas through the virtues we are doing here. And thereby, we can have a good tomorrow or a better tomorrow. There is no doubt in that. And see, the conditions like this epidemic or mass disasters or natural calamities, all these are coming every now and then. We are facing in the present time, and so we are much concerned. But look into the past. How many times natural calamities came? Thousands and millions of people lost their life. And think about plague and cholera. Think about smallpox. We came through all these. All these. The present situation also, we will transcend. There is no doubt. So a man who is doing virtuous deeds, who is established in dharma, who is steadfast in doing dharmic activities, his inner self will be calm. He will be in equanimity in the midst of all turmoil. So that calmness, if we can have within, we can save ourselves, we can serve the society. There is no doubt in that. So the effect or the greatness of doing calmness never means you will not die. Never means you will not have sickness. But it gives a correct attitude in this life, and it makes us to accept whatever comes with equanimity and save ourselves and serve the society. That is the first answer. And we can elaborate more and more. But if we can think in this life, we can go far. What's your Babu Sahadevanji? I think.
Hari Om, Swamiji. Hari Om, Swamiji.
Hari Om. So what's your opinion?
No, my question was a bit different. See, we are a conditioned consciousness. The way I've been trying to reason out is, if there is a life in this coronavirus that we are talking about, and there is a consciousness in the virus too. So we are no different from the virus, because all living things have got a consciousness in it. So I think, to me, I think people are probably more affected by the adi than the vyadi. That's my opinion. I don't know whether you agree with me on that.
Can you repeat once more the second part? Second part? The first part is clear.
Second part is, I think, more than the vyadi, people are affected by the adi.
Yeah. Adi.
Yeah.
Then vyadhi.
Yeah, I think what is probably playing a role in people's mind is more the adi than the vyadi.
Yes, exactly. You are 100% correct. I am with you in that. That is why in the very beginning, we are speaking about doing Sathanas, making our own mind more and more powerful, and accept the realities as realities. Because here more adi is there in the world than vyadhi. That you are exactly correct. I am with you in that.
Swamiji, this is Vinod. We have a devotee from Ghana, Didi, who has joined, and she has a question from the Hindu monastery of Ghana, Africa.
Yes. Actually, we had planned to convene a meeting there next month, but all this happened. So it's very happy to meet you.
Yeah, and
Oh.
Hari Om, Swamiji, this is Kofi Ji.
Oh, right. Very happy to meet you. Where are you now?
We are in Ghana.
Where are you now?
We are in Ghana.
Yeah.
Yes.
So,
Swamiji.
Yes, please ask.
Yes, my question was about some of these things that is happening in the monastery. Right now, we have a situation where one of our Swami Sathanas attained Mahasamadhi, and we have this initiated brahmachari who is doing a lot of things that is in contrary to the Hindu Dharmic values. So my question is, in this sense, what do we do? Do we allow him to continue what he's doing, or we have to
Not at all hearing.
and stop him? Because
I'm not at all hearing.
I'll explain, Swamiji. This is Vinod. So what Kofi is saying.
Not this is, we didn't hear at all.
Kofi, I heard, Swamiji, I heard it, I can explain.
Yeah.
Okay, so what Kofi is saying is that the Hindu monastery of Africa in Ghana is going through a crisis where Swami Satyanand Saraswati ji attained Mahasamadhi, and following that, some people who are questioning the Guru Shishya Parampara are creating problems in the monastery, which has led to a lot of devotees not coming to the monastery, and it's an existential crisis in Africa. And this brahmachari, so what he's saying is, if the brahmachari is doing something against dharma, and is not following the Guru Shishya Parampara, how do we handle that situation and counter this brahmachari in question, and what should they do?
It's a complicated issue. We have to handle very carefully because the whole world, or everybody who knows about the monastery in Ghana, are actually proud of it. Such a monastery, such a system is there in Africa. We all are proud of it. So it is our duty to keep the culture, system, custom, and the monastery intact. And we have to make it more and more great and function through our efforts. If, see, in a river, you just imagine water is flowing westward. So there is a current of water to the west side. If a big storm has come in that middle of that river, of course, it will obstruct that water flow a little, and some flow will be there to the eastward direction. Even though river is flowing westward, for say half a foot of length, water will be flowing eastward. But the westward direction will pull that water again to western side. This we can see in this world. This is a universal phenomenon. In the same way, a great acharya has established that ashram, a great acharya, and second generation also was there. They also did great works. That is why and that is how many thousands of people are staying as Hindus in our dharmic way. If somebody, let it be one person or another person, let it be myself or that person, don't differentiate. Like a stone, he comes. If that current is maintained there through regular sadhana, through regular satsanga, whatever sadhanas your first guru who established that, founder of that ashram, he ordained. If we are doing that, if that is kept there as a current, all hindrances will go or it will become immaterial, irrelevant. I am not criticizing that brahmachari. I am not criticizing you. I am not, don't take my words as something personal. I am not at all talking personally. Whoever be against the current of that monastery or mission, it will become irrelevant and immaterial if others are uniting together. See, in our dharma, of course, persons are there, individuals are there. We are worshipping Rama, we are worshipping Krishna, we are worshipping Shiva. But Hindu dharma is above all personal worships. That we must have that knowledge with it. So to one ideal we are living. Have that ideal with it. Be filled with that ideal. Be filled within with that ideal. It will take us. It will take us. So those who are working there, those who are loving that, those who are working for that, work well with all spirit and energy in the right path taught by our Guru. Then all hindrances on the way will become irrelevant and immaterial. There is no doubt in that. This is the duty, this is the need of the time. This is what I have to say. Have you heard?
Yes, Swamiji.
Have you heard, Kafiji?
Kofi, your response.
Yes,
Swamiji.
we've heard Swamiji.
Mariam Swamiji, we have heard you. Thank you.
Yes. Namaste. Namaste.
Swamiji, unfortunately, I'm driving and I'm listening to you.
Yeah, yes, I am seeing you are in the vehicle and it is moving. I am seeing that.
Yes,
It may be
because
because
of
of
the
that
lockdown, I have this.
network also is getting interrupted.
Yes,
Yeah,
Didi is also from the Hindu monastery and she's a police lady, so she's
yeah,
able to take me around. Yeah.
yes. Thank you. Very well.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Namaste.
Swami. Namaste.
Namaste, namaste.
Next question from Shaji and Vinita.
Shaji and Vinita. Your voice is not coming. Speak loudly, please. Please check your. We can't hear you.
Not hearing.
We can't hear you. Something is not correct in your audio.
Hey, Rajivji, I have a doubt. How people from Australia joined us? Because it is midnight or after 2 o'clock there.
Now everybody is under the lockdown. There is no time difference, Swamiji. 24
Yeah.
hours doesn't make it.
I was wondering when I saw people from Australia.
So Swamiji, within they are trying to figure out their audio. So have you ever relate this pandemic like something we have seen in our past, like a Second World War or a time in plague? Or how do we overcome? How did the nation, how did the society overcame? How did they overcome all these calamities or natural pandemics or man-made wars and something like that? You mentioned something before. Can you explain a little bit?
Yes, of course. See, when we look into the past, see, we have a concept in Bharata, one year cycle. It consists of 60 years. That is why we are celebrating 60th birthday, Shashti Purti. So, in the past, if we can observe, not always, but many a time we can see within 60 years there will be one calamity or one natural calamity or one pandemic like situation comes and not thousands, lakhs, millions of people lost their life. This happened. You take the case of world wars. You take the case of smallpox. You take the case of plague. Like that, it happened. And at a present, a given state of time, at a situation, given time, people who are facing that problem will think, oh, everything gone, we will not survive, we will not come up. Everything ended. But what will be the result? They will come up. When First World War came, many countries, many nations were toppled. And what happened? They came up. But after 3 decades, not after 3 decades, after 2.5 decades, Second World War came. Many nations were torn to pieces. There were so many sayings, they won't come up, ended forever. But what we saw, they rose to the highest level of the countries or nations. That we saw. How with correct vision, hard working, and adjusting our life to situations. Last week I saw an article. It said in many countries in this situation, lockdown situation, people are much frustrated with so many mental problems they are living. Why? They are not going out, they are not traveling, they are not seeing their friends, families and all. But in Japan, frustration was because they are not able to work. Not because they are not able to go out. They cannot go to picnic. No, because they are not able to work. That is the samskara they built. So after this pandemic, we will have to change our attitude towards life and our work culture, that we have to change, and we will come up. There is no doubt in that. Now, the present condition, present state, in the present scenario, we are seeing some lapses, or lack of caution or lack of vigilance. This pandemic is spreading in many countries. Example of Bharat is there. The first death was reported on the same day in Bharat and Italy. Our government, it stood up and acted and now declared lockdown. Even then, stringent measures were taken. And now we can see the difference in death tolls. But many countries, even though having all facilities, technological advancement, financial background, educational level, and of course, other structures, they didn't rise to the situation, and people are suffering. Today, it is today, Government of India again declared 2 weeks lockdown. If the problem created by Tablighi peoples were not there, within 3 weeks of lockdown, everything might have corrected in India. But it happened. But in many other countries, that vigilance was not there, and people are suffering. But there is no doubt the whole humanity will come up. There is no doubt in that. So we have to make this as a challenge or as an opportunity to come up. That is our duty. That vision we have. That is the philosophy we have. We made a battlefield a classroom. Classroom to teach the highest philosophy in the world, Bhagavad Gita. That is the vision we had.
Thank you, Swamiji. Shaji and Vinita.
Namaste, Swamiji.
Namaste, namaste. How are you?
Oh, we're doing okay.
Yes.
You here. So my question is basically about the choices the doctors and nurses have to make at the present time as to who gets to live and who is forced to die during the COVID-19 situation, because there are not enough ventilators, or there are not enough treatment options available. So I was just wondering, I mean, how would Krishna have decided in a situation like this? You know, if I was the Arjuna and asking as a doctor or nurse, how exactly do we make a decision?
See, the profession of a doctor or a nurse, not only doctor and nurse, but those who are working in in hospitals, healthcare institutions, whether they are doing cleaning, whether they are in the offices, all people who are working in hospitals, those who are in that profession, this risk factor is with them. It is the duty of the government, it is the duty of the king, in the present world, government, to protect them, to give them ample convenience to perform their duty. Even then, so many risk factors are there, and that we are seeing. But as a doctor, as a nurse, you have to value the life of the patient in front of him more than his life. There is no doubt in that. A warrior in the battlefield, of course, he loves his own, he is having love towards himself. There is no doubt in that. But a warrior in a battlefield, the first priority he is giving is for his nation, for his country. In the same way, a doctor, a nurse, a healthcare staff is a warrior now in the present scenario. So his first priority is make this pandemic under control. In that fight, he may lose. So we have to choose. The situation is it shows two options. One is run away from our duty. Second is face it with courage. Second is the dharmic way. Not running away, but facing.
Sorry, Swamiji. Just to clarify, I meant between two different patients. They're taking the ventilator from an 85-year-old to give it to a 25-year-old, which is a moral stress.
Yes.
So it's a comparison between
that I followed. That I followed, but I cannot reply to that question. Why, you know? I cannot and I will not reply that. Because your question is clear. A second person cannot reply that. Because as a doctor, two patients are in front of him. One is 99-year-old and the other is 30-year-old. From a human standpoint, one may say or one will say, you must take utmost care to that 33-year-old patient. You get that 99 one alone. But from the standpoint of a doctor, it is not that. Both are patients. So a second man cannot reply your question. It will be atharmic to reply. That is my view. That is why I replied in that stretch earlier. I think you did recognize that.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, Binoy.
Namaskaram, Swami.
Namaskaram.
Swami, you talked about karma, and you also told us the story of opening balance and closing balance in a previous session. So my question is about the karma. So from an eternity perspective, are we an individual? I know we are sort of a subsect of the Paramatma, but from a karmic point of view, how the opening and closing balance is forward. Like, are we an individual or the family, or, we say we have kids or, families, do they, also share the karmic, balances?
See, the karma is purely individualistic. No family, no society have nothing to do with one's karma. But there is another factor. That is, see, Sri Rama broke the he went to that Mithila, and what was the name of that? Triambaka. That Triambaka, Sri Rama broke. And as a result, there must, Sita must come. If Sita liked Rama, a marriage will happen there. How many marriage? Only one marriage between two persons, Rama and Sita. But how many marriages happened? 4 marriages, 4 weddings of 8 persons. How it happened? That is the rule of karma. Those persons who have to have or experience common situations or face common situations or scenario, or have to share common experience, they will somehow come together. How we cannot explain from a grosser plane. So those persons who have to have common karma bhalas will come together. The inscrutable way of karma we cannot explain. That is why Bhagavan Vedavyasa himself says, Gahana karmano gati. Gahana karmano gati. The way of karma is not at all an easy thing. Hey, who is that? Huh?
I think Smita can.
Where is
Smita Raghulal. Smita, can you ask, unmute yourself?
Jai Gurudev.
Yeah.
While Gurudev, I have a simple question to ask you.
a little more louder, please? Please, little more louder.
Gurudev, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
I just have a simple question. How do we remain positive in such a restless environment? Where we have to stay here for like 3 more months to be precise. So how do we remain positive in such an atmosphere where everything is just the same? There's no difference. Carrying on with our daily routine.
What's that?
How can we remain positive when everything is How can we remain positive when everything is
Remain positive.
Yeah. So
How to remain positive?
how do you?
Yes, Swamiji. Another 3 months, how you can stay your calmly and how you have to remain positive in a better perspective.
Yes. Of course, we must have a positive vision, but it must be realistic. Simply being or simply having positive outlook will not do. Of course, we must have positive outlook within. But every positive outlook must be realistic. So we must take the situation as it is. So the present situation, you see, the present scenario in the world is that much troubling. It is a thing. We have to accept that as it is. So first, accept the situation. Such and such problems are here around me. I am in the midst of this much problem. We must accept that. And next, what must be my attitude towards that? How I can be positive in such a situation or such a scenario? This is the question. So being realistic is the first thing. Accept what is around us. And there are two options. One, we can be depressed, fully tensed, having so many psychic problems, without stability. We can ruin ourselves. That is one option. Second option, face with courage, and observe what experts are saying in this situation. Medical experts, and of course the government. Obey that and work for a future and have that conviction within. I will come up. I will come up. And that must be positive, but positive must always be realistic. Simply being positive will not do. Because simply being positive is everything will be all right, everything will be all right. There is no meaning in that. So we must be positive, we must be realistic. And think within, have a conviction within. After this, I will be able to save myself and serve the society. I have that potential to serve the society. If that conviction is there, it will take us to such heights which we will not be able to imagine now. We will think that much potential is within me. We will wonder, yes, we are human beings. That much energy is within. Use positively and realistic, in a realistic way. And of course, for that we have to have power within. Do japa, do swadhyaya, do as much good deeds as we can, and have that power within. With that power, we will do wonderful things. There is no doubt in that. But let me repeat once more. Having positive vision and outlook is good, but it must be realistic. Yes.
I think, Swamiji, we have exceeded 10 minutes past the allocated timing. So thanks for everyone who has attended this meeting. And thanks for more or less from Swamiji. Puja Swamiji has taken his valuable 1.5 hours to be with us. And he will be with us for every Saturday in English. And every Sunday at the same time, he will be joining us for the question and answer session mostly, and the talks in Malayalam too. So appreciate everyone. Thanks for.
Namaste, namaste, namaste to all.